Hello everybody, Chang here from Southeast Asia, taking advantage of this Spursless weekend to bring you my ideal starting 11 for this current 2023-24 campaign of the English Premier League, the Europa League, as well as the domestic cup games, the FA Cup and the League Cup. I'm recording this video on October the 14th, 2024. It's currently a Monday at 7:30 a.m., which is something like half past midnight over there in the United Kingdom. And without further ado, here are my ideal starting 11 for Spurs in this current campaign, starting with our goalkeeper. Guillermo Vicario, I think, is the only ideal and the viable choice that we have in goal, because Fraser Forster sadly just can't cut it anymore given his current age and even his form. Going forward, looking ahead, I really do hope the scouting department has a second goalkeeper lined up to replace Fraser Forster. Someone, in the mold or the same ilk as Paulo Gazzaniga will be very welcome, and that will actually give Vicario some much needed competition and even as backup as well, if the games are coming very fast and thick as the season progresses. Our current back four, I think, also pretty much picks themselves. The centre-back pairing, especially of Cristiano Romero and Mickey Van der Ven, that would be my ideal centre-back pairing, although I do admit that Cristiano Romero unfortunately has had a very drastic dip in form, the most recent being the very disappointing loss to Brighton and Hove Albion, in which those defensive lapses were the main cause of us conceding 3 goals despite leading 2-0 in the first half. I really do hope Cristiano Romero gets back to his level best, because we know just how good a centre back he is, especially one who's already won the World Cup and the Copa America with Argentina. As for Mickey Van der Ven, I mean, who would have thought that Mickey Van der Ven had so much more to offer compared to what we saw of him last season, and we thought his pace was what frightened us. Well, his dribbling as well from box to box, that is something else that most Spurs fans didn't see coming, and more of the same from him. Although again, fingers crossed, he stays injury fit for the remainder of the season. As for our fullbacks, Pedro Porro and Destiny Udogie will be my preferred wingbacks for us. Although Pedro Porro as well as Destiny Udogie, both of them really have to pick up, or rather they have to improve dramatically and quite drastically, I might add, in terms of their defensive display and capabilities at the back, because as much as I enjoy seeing them bombing forward when they help out with our attack, tracking back and even defending, I think Pedro Porro really needs to work on his defensive capabilities. Especially, again, I have to bring that Brighton Hove away match in which he was skinned and he was just taken to the cleaners time and time again by none other than Toma. So yeah, for Porro and Udogie, they really have to improve in terms of the defensive display, because otherwise it's going to be a very long season for us if you're going to be just shipping goals going down those wings, which aren't really actually offering any sort of cover for our beleaguered centre-back pairing of Romero and Van der Ven. But moving forward, our midfield trio, I think, of Kulusevski, Rodrigo Bentancur and James Maddison would be my preferred midfield trio. Kulusevski, I think, is one of those names that's going to be the first name on the team sheet week in, week out, if he can stay fit, because he has been absolutely unleashed, reinvented almost from last season, whereby he was kind of wasteful down that right hand flank. This season in midfield, he's been a completely different beast entirely, and again, fingers crossed he will stay fit and keep up with that consistency of his. I think the same can be said about James Maddison as well. James Maddison has shown a new level of consistency, which is quite reminiscent for last season in that 10-game unbeaten run. Although again, much like Kulusevski, I think it remains to be seen whether James Maddison can keep up with that consistency of his as a number 10, which is really, really pivotal for Big Ange's Ange ball system. The number 6 or even the number 8, where Rodrigo Bentancur comes in, I think between him, Pape Matasar and Bissouma, I would still prefer Bentancur because he can go forward and fall back with efficiency and with ease, unlike the other two. And yeah, again for Bentancur, I think he needs to show a lot more consistency, especially in the league and also the Europa League if he does feature in those. If he can keep up his consistent levels and he can work together with Maddison and Kulusevski, that is going to be a very strong midfield trio. As for the forward line, I think Dominic Solanke is the only viable and logical choice as well for centre forward, because I'm not sure just how soon will Richarlison get back, and even if he does get back, will he be anything like the Richarlison who was on that goal scoring streak towards the middle of last season. Our wing backs, I think right wing belongs to Brennan Johnson. 6 in 6 for him. If you were to count the 7th in 7 competitive matches, the most recent being his goal for Wales, he has been, again, like Kulusevski, he's just been reinvented. It's almost like a rebirth for him, Brennan Johnson. Fingers crossed that he also can stay consistent in terms of his crossing, his passes, his assists, or even his goals for that matter. So here's to Brennan Johnson, really going for it for the remainder of the season. The last one, the left wing, I think it's always going to be Son Heung-min, because we've seen how wasteful Timo Werner has been the past couple weekends, especially against Manchester United and against Ferencváros in Budapest, Hungary. He's been so wasteful, and a lot of us were really hoping that it was anyone else other than him in left wing. And this is why we should never, look down, or rather we dismiss Son Heung-min as someone who's really over the hill or past it, because as much as he is starting to slow down, I still feel that Son Heung-min is heads and shoulders over Timo Werner in terms of our left wing starting 11. So I think that there you have it, my ideal starting 11 for this current 2023 and 24 campaign. Vicario in goal, Romero and Van der Ven in centre back, Porro and Udogi, our fullbacks. The midfield trio of Maddison, Bentancur and Kulusevski, and the front three of Solanke up front, with Johnson on the right and Son Heung-min on the left. With that, that's all I have to share today. Looking forward to the next weekend, the game week 8 of the English Premier League. Until then, here's Chang signing up from Southeast Asia. Come on, you Spurs.